Alright, so the first thing I did was remove the lower fairing off the bike. If you look here on the top section, there's 6 bolts or 6 screws that hold it in up top on each side. And on the bottom, there's 2 screws, one here and the other one there. So in total, there's going to be 6, 7, 8, 10 screws that hold this lower fairing on. Once you get the lower fairing off, you're just going to have your exhaust. You can see the exhaust wrap, it's kind of fallen off from being there for years. Things that we're going to worry about while we're under here is going to be your oil filter, which is there. Sorry, the lighting sucks. And your drain plug, which is here. So there's your drain plug. That takes a 17 millimeter. You're going to most likely need a wrench like this because the socket won't fit. For the filter, we can just unscrew that. So I'll get my pan over and I'll start draining it. Okay, so I've broken the drain plug loose. You can see this one was a little stripped, so it's very difficult for me to break it free, but I did. So I got my drain pan here. Going to take the plug out, let that drain, and then take out the oil filter. And we'll see how that goes. There we go. Look at that. How milky black that stuff is. Ugh. It's needed an oil change. So you can see the this is how it was a little rounded off. Definitely going to want to replace this because it's going to suck when you go to take it out next time. Alright, set this aside. Alright, so we ran into a little snag here. The oil filter, you can see it's kind of close to the headers here. What you need is an oil filter wrench. I don't have an oil filter wrench here with me at home. So what I'm going to do is bang a screwdriver in here, like a flathead screwdriver into this, and twist it off that way. So let's get to it. All right, so I did this caveman style. Couldn't find a regular Phillips head screwdriver, so I used this one, and I took a ratchet and just banged a hole into the side of the filter. And then once you get your hole banged, you can kind of see it, I wiggled it and you can see the filter's moving now. So once you get the filter to move a couple inches, it should be loose enough for you to get it off by hand. Let me get my other hand and do this. So now you can see filter's coming off. So that this won't happen next time I go to change the oil. I purchased the K&N oil filter that has a socket on the end of it. Well, it's a spot for a socket. I believe it's a 17 mil. I'll have to double check, but I'll grab that for you and show you. All right, this is the other bike here. You can see that's the oil filter. This is on the Suzuki. It has this little piece on the end here where you can stick a socket at, so that way it's a little easier. Well, this bike just has more access in general for it, so I always recommend going to that filter, so that way you don't have to have a filter wrench to get the oil filter off. Alright, so once you've replaced the filter and made sure the filter is tight and the oil drain plug is tight, you want to get you a funnel and you're going to fill the oil here. Where is it at? Sorry, right there on the side. Right where the clutch is at. Just stick a filter, a funnel in there. The bike takes 3.5 quarts. We have here a 4-quart jug, so I'm going to pour 3 quarts in, start the bike up, and check and see where it's at. I'll just pour it in just like that. I'll be back in a second. Alright, so once you put the oil in, just put the oil cap back on here. And what you're going to do is come down right below the clutch. There's a sight glass. There's a dot here and a dot here. You want the oil to generally be in between these dots. So another major key with this, you got to measure it with the bike standing straight up. So on the side stand, it's a little over to the bike's left side. You're going to want to get it off the kickstand, hold it up as straight as you can, which is about there, and then you're gonna look at it in the glass. So you can kind of see here, it's up to the top line. Once I start the bike, it's gonna go down a little bit once the oil starts flowing and goes into the filter and stuff. So that's why you don't want to put it all in at once. You're gonna start the bike for probably about 5 seconds, let the oil start circulating, and then check it again. All right, make sure your bike is in neutral. Choke up since it hasn't been started in a few days. That's enough just to get the oil flowing. Now, as you can see, sight glass looks empty. The bike is now straight up and down, and you can't even see any oil in it. That's only because I put about 2.8 quarts in there. So I'm going to put the rest of the oil in, do the same exact thing, let it run, let the oil circulate again, and then I'll check the sight glass. Alright, so I just ran the bike again for a couple seconds, about 5-10 seconds. And now the bike is sitting straight up and down. You can see the oil is right around the top line. It's exactly where you want it to be at. So it took the about 3.5 quarts, just like the manual said. After you make sure your oil is correct, actually you can do these 2 steps vice versa. You want to look around your oil filter, make sure there's no leaking, as well as the plug. So I checked both of those already. There's no leaks, so we're good to put the bike back together.